Hello Year 8. I'm going to show you how to find the mean, median, mode and range of a frequency table today. I'd like to show you some data which is from a hockey team's matches over the course of a season showing the number of goals scored. In 5 matches there were no goals scored, so I'm going to write down a list of this data underneath the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches where there were 0 goals scored. There were 9 matches where 1 goal was scored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There were 7 matches where 2 goals were scored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 5 matches where 3 goals were scored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there were 3 matches where 4 goals were scored. 1, 2, and 3. So I've made my frequency table into a list of numbers. Now, I can use this list of numbers to work out the range. As you can see, the range is always the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number of goals in this case. So I can see that my list ends with a 4 and it starts with a 0, and so the difference between those is 4. So my range is 4 goals. I can find my median nice and easily now because I know that my median is the middle number when they're all in order of size. So what I'm going to do is with my list, I'm going to cross off values at each end until I'm left with 1 in the middle. It takes a little bit of time, but I think this is the best way of finding the median number of goals if you have a table of values. Because you understand that you're finding the middle number when they're all listed in order of size. And as you can see, I've got 1 left in the middle. That's got to be my median value. So I'm going to write down at the side here, my median number of goals is 2. The mode is always one of the easiest averages to find. And in my list, I think it's probably quite clear to see that the most common value is a 1, because I have 9 ones, which is the most frequently occurring number. If I look in my table, 9 is the highest frequency, so the mode is the number of goals scored that corresponds to that highest frequency. So I know the mode is 1 goal. Now we've only got one other measure to find, and it's the mean. You can do this 2 ways. You can either add up all of the values in your list, which is the total number of goals scored, and then divide that by the number of matches that were played. Now, you can do that very easily in your list, but it's much harder to add up all of those numbers than it is to use the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way of very quickly using a frequency table to work out the mean. I want to find the number of matches. And what I can do is I can either add up the number of values in my list, and let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. There were 29 matches altogether, so I'm going to write up here there were 29 matches. Now, if I add up my numbers 5 and 9 are 14, so if I add up my numbers in the table, 5 and 9 are 14, add the 7, which is 21, add the 5, which is 26, and add the 3, which is 29. When I add up my frequencies, I get the total number of matches that were played. That's the total number of matches. If I were to add up all of those numbers in my list, that would give me the total number of goals. But there's an easy way to do this. if I multiply the goals by the frequency, I'm going to call those a very special name. I'm going to call the goals scored X and the frequencies an F. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply those numbers together, because 5 lots of 0 goals is 5, 9 lots of 1s is 9, 7 lots of 2s are 14, 5 lots of 3s are 15, and 3 lots of 4 is 12. If I add up all of those values, I think that's going to give me the total number of goals scored. So let's do that on my calculator. I have 5 and 9 and 14 and 15 and 12. The answer is 55. So in order to find the mean, what I'm going to do is going to get the total number of goals, and I'm going to divide that by the total number of matches. So I've got the total number of goals is 55 and the total number of matches is 29. On my calculator, 55 divided by 29 is a decimal. I'm going to round it to 1 decimal place because that's all I really need for the mean. And to 1 decimal place, that is 1.9 goals. Just to make clear that when I've got a frequency table, I'm always going to find the total number of goals by adding up the total of the frequency times the X column. And I'm going to find the total number of matches by adding up the frequency values. And that's always how to find the mean from a frequency table. You need to learn that because I'm going to set a Heggerty task on that. It's a very important skill. Let's show you another set of data, and I'd like you to do the same this time, but for the grades that people scored in a maths exam. So what you've got to do is you've got to find the mean, median, mode and range of their grades. You can press pause while you do it. Okay, so if I was doing this question, I'm going to find the mean first because that's what I've just been through with you. I'm going to find my blue pen because I want to write in blue. I'm going to call the grades X and my frequencies F, and I'm going to multiply those together, Fx. 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 8 is 32, and 5 times 10 is 50. What I want to do next is I want to get 2 totals. And I'm always going to get the total of the frequencies, and I'm always going to get the total of the Fx column. And I'm going to put those in 2 different colours there. Okay, so I'm going to add up my frequency column, which is 4 and 5 and 1 and 8 and 10. So I've got 28 in my frequency column. The next column, the Fx column, I've got 4, add 10, add 3, add 32, add 50, and I've got 99. Now, if I have a look at what this frequency table is all about, it says it's the grades achieved by some students. Well, I can see there were 28 students, so that's the number of students, and 99 must be the total value of all the grades added together. So if I'm trying to find the mean from my frequency table, I always add up the Fx column, the total of the frequencies, multiplied by whatever I'm measuring, this time grades, divided by the total of the frequencies. So in this question, it's the total of the grades divided by the total of the number of students. So I've got 99 divided by 28. So on my calculator, I'm going to calculate that, and it's not a whole number because it never usually is, and I've got 3.5 to 1 decimal place. So the average grade, the mean average grade, was 3.5. I divided the total of the grades, the total of the Fx column, by the total of the frequency column to get that answer. You need to learn how to find that mean. If I was looking up the mode, remember it's the most common or the most frequently occurring grade. So I'm going to write down the most frequent grade. So the most frequent or the most common grade that anyone got in this class was a grade 5. The range is always the biggest grade take away the smallest grade. So I can see the highest grade anyone got was a 5 and the lowest grade anyone got was a 1, which is a range of 4 grades. The median is a lot harder, and I really would encourage you to draw a list. So to find the median, I would make a list of all of the numbers. I've got 4 ones. I've got 5 people that had a grade 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 1 person with a grade 3. I've got 8 with a grade 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've got 10 students with a grade 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I said to you the easiest way is to find the one in the middle, but this time I don't think there's going to be just one left in the middle because I've got an even number of students. In fact, I've got 28 students here, so I think I should have 14 and 14, which is 28. So I think I should have 14 values on one side, 14 values on the other side. So I'm going further and further and further in my list till I get to the middle. And as you can see, there are 2 numbers in the middle, but because they are both 4, the median is just going to be a grade 4. So your task this week, you've got some questions to have a go at on a worksheet that I've given you, and I've provided the answers, so you can mark that work. And I'd also like you to have a go at the Hegarty task on finding the mean from a frequency table, and you can use a calculator. I would love it if you could take a photo of any of the work you've done and send that to me. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck with the work.